Hi everybody, all my followers, be welcome to another video. Right, just follow up straight after the ABS and ESP problem. Let's gonna move now into the last issue that I know with this car, which is as you've just seen, there's a parking assist fault. So this car, guys, by the way, is a 2012 Volkswagen Touran with the 1.6 TDI engine, and this particular model, this particular car is installed with the, let me see if I show you here, is installed, let me take the cable, with parking assist, which, if I recall this correctly, is the system where you park on the side of a car, you press that button and that will park it for you, kind of. Obviously, as you've seen, that comes up with a warning. But the warning is actually an issue that is actually due to an issue with another system on the car. So these systems are all interlinked, they rely on each other to work, which is the main issue is actually that one. So the parking sensors, we get a warning and that's it, and the light keeps flashing and it doesn't work. So I believe this is why it's causing the parking assist not to work, but we're gonna give you a quick scan and see what the car is complaining about it. Okay, as we are just carry on working on the car, everything is here as well. So just to show you that parking assistance, I believe, is for the cars equipped only with the parking sensors, not with this. That is going to be part of a different system, and I believe that is this one here, parking assistance 2. So we are going to obviously scan the module and see what faults we do have. Okay, so we have two active faults, one passive. This, it could have been, I don't know, well, if you watch the other videos from the car, you probably can understand possibly why that code was there. So I'm not going to worry with that for now. The ones we are going to worry with is obviously the first two. Now, the B107A 14 or B17A, the 14 is going to be a suffix. So B107A voltage supply for park assist sensor open circuit to ground. So there is one sensor. It doesn't tell me for park assist sensor. Is that for all the sensors? Is that for one sensor? It doesn't say. So we're gonna have to dig into this in a minute. And the first one, which I'm a little bit more concerned about, is the parking assist speaker open circuit, short circuit to ground. That one, I'm not really sure how we're gonna tackle that, but let's gonna start. It might be that they are even related, we don't know yet. So here it doesn't really tell me anything. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go back, we're gonna go to live data. So ooh, what's this? Oh, sorry, indirect distance. Okay, so infinite left side front. Okay, I'm a little bit. Okay, so let me go slowly in this, because obviously I can't see the entire writing. These are the modules installed, blah 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 blah. Okay. Gonna have to try to figure out how I'm going to identify here which one is referring to. So It's a lot of live data. Okay guys, I'm not going to be here bothering you with this. I'm just going to try to figure out how I'm going to load probably just the sensors I need to load, try to activate these and try to see if I can identify which sensor is failing or if they are all failing, and we'll go from there. Okay guys, so I had to change tools because the Maxi-Cs was running out of battery, and to be honest I don't have much light today left. It's going to be dark soon, and I want to try to see if I need any parts so I can order them today. However, I believe I found a little bit possibly what's going on. So I managed to go through the live data and actually find and I think I just messed it up because I turned the ignition on, ignition off. And anyway, I'm going to show you. I think I figured out what sensors are which. So the sensors are, if we need to go for the sensors to check anything on the sensor. So as you can see, it says Park Assist Sensor, and then it says rear left and rear center, and then it says for the right side, rear left, rear center, and rear park, and then in there says rear park assist sensor. Then it says front left and front center, and then right here at the bottom, can you see the difference here? It says aid for front parking aid, and there's 4 aid sensors, 1 2 3 4, and the other ones is parking assist. So I have a feeling, I might be wrong, so there's 4 sensors here. I'm hoping that either the sensors, the way this is done is the sensors on the side, so there's 4, so 1 2 3 4, yeah, that is going to be that. I think that's why it's going to be 1 2 3 4. So I believe these 4 sensors here that says 8 is going to be the sensors that are here on the side of the bumper. These ones there, okay, so these are going to be the 8 sensors, and then the other ones is going to be the normal parking. It's going to be 1 2 3 4 5 6 on each bumper. So these one on the other side is going to be the 8 sensors. That's going to be the park sensors, and I think it's going to be the same for the front, where this is going to be the 8 sensors and the other ones are going to be the other ones. So that's, I think that's how they did this. So let's kind of go. While I was working on the ABS fault that you probably have seen the video, if you haven't, check the description below. I don't know which one is going to come first, but if it's been published, I'll leave a link in there. If you watch that video, anyway, when I was working there, I've seen something that caught my attention because I knew about this fault, and was something there that caught my attention. I'm going to show you, and we're going to have a look. Okay, so this is one of the things that caught my attention, which is that plug, which I believe is for the sensors on the bumper, and the plug is just here hanging off. Okay, so that caught my attention. That was one thing that caught my attention, and the other thing was this. So the car had an impact here. This sensor is pushed in. I don't know if you can see it. You see it's slightly pushed in when I show you how they should be and how this one is. And this one on the side, you can't probably see. Oh, you can actually see, look. It looks like if it's been scraped and it's been repainted, and so looks like the car had some sort of impact here. So I don't know, let's kind of try to go for some diagrams, go on that plug, see what we should be having there, maybe look for the ECU. I don't know where it lives, so we're gonna have a little bit of investigation work to do before we actually start, I guess, to find anything relevant. Okay, so the plug looks relatively clean, although this was already broken like that, so that doesn't matter. The clip actually inside the tab that actually holds these in place is actually good, but the plug is quite clean, which is a good sign. So let's go to carry on digging into this. Okay guys, it's getting dark. This is going to be the last bit I'm going to record today, then we'll carry on tomorrow if the weather is of any help. But I got to the module leaves here under the steering wheel on the left hand side. I believe on the right hand side it leaves on the same side underneath, I'm not sure. Anyway, here in the UK that's where it lives, right there. So where is the module now? Well, the module is there on the floor, so that one. So the first thing I'm doing, so I plugged that back in there. So I'm not sure about the fault for the power to the sensors. I think I'm gonna have to take the bumper off and try to understand exactly what's going on. But I need to do some more checks to try to measure some circuits from this plug to the front and then to the rear. Although the tool doesn't specify if it's rear, front, it just says as you've seen. But one thing I'm going to do while I'm here is check the speaker. So we have a fault for the speaker. So the front speaker actually lives right there. You can't see it, can you? Oh, you can. There we go. So that's the speaker for the front, and there is indeed one for the rear. So we're going to check this one at the front, and I'm going to check just to see if we have a bad speaker, a bad wire, or whatever. So let's just do something here. So I'm measuring. There's no light, it's going to be terrible. So at the moment guys, I'm measuring the front speaker. As you can see, we have 46.8 ohms. You're going to see if I unplug this here, this speaker. So if I unplug it, that goes down to open line. Now I'm going to put it back in. But that is reporting an issue with the rear one anyway, the speaker. So come on. Back in, so 46.6. That speaker is on these 12 pins. I'm not showing you. Is on these 12 pins. So there's 3 plugs for this module. There's a black one, okay, which is for the rear sensors. All of this is for the rear sensors. Then we have here this one is for speakers and front sensors. And then on this one there's also some front sensors, I think. No, I'm not sure about this one. This one I think is for the rear. I don't know. So this pin, I'll tell you. I'm not going to show you all the whole diagrams, but pin 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Pins 3 and 4 is for the front speaker on the 12 pins plug, brown plug. And now the rear speaker. Let me check the diagrams quickly. Let me check the diagrams quickly, guys. So pin 3 and where was that? 3 and 4 on the 12 pins, and then the rear speaker is on a 16 pin plug, so the biggest plug, the brown one, and is on pin 2 and 10. 2 and 10. So let's gonna change the probe. 2 and 10 on this one. So 1, 2 and 10. And yes, we do have open line. So we're gonna have one, find out where that speaker is, and obviously go from there. So find where the speaker leaves, check that, and then we'll go on to the next stage, which is going to be the sensors, but one thing at a time. Let's see if we can get the speaker going first, get rid of that code, and then the next one. Where does the speaker leaves? That's the next question. I have the speaker. Now I've done a little bit more work on it. I've checked continuity from the front plugs to where this is. I will show you tomorrow when we have daylight where the speaker lives. But it lives basically above the rear right hand side wheel arch. Actually no, yeah, above, is on the side, is like this, above the arch, right under the rear window. You need to take the trims out or pull them away a little bit in order to get to this. But I measured the wire. I got 0.6 or 0.7 ohms on each wire into the speaker. Now some of you are going to say, what are you doing? Why you just don't replace that thingy? Well, let's gonna see if we can fix it. This probably is quite inexpensive, these speakers, but I don't have nothing to do at the moment. It's dark, so I might play this a little bit. So let's just confirm that this is bad. Obviously we already did, but so we can have a starting reference for this. So yeah, we have 0 ohms on a multimeter measuring this. Right, let's see if we can fix this, if we can find the problem. Okay, the speaker is dismantled, as you can see. Okay, and you can see in there now. Let me see if I can show you. I already exposed the 2 end wires. There they are, look at that, beautiful. There they are, the 2. So now we are going to use a little bit of enameled wire. Okay, a little bit of this enameled wire to solder in there and see what does, if it works or not. And there is 2 new wires soldered. Now let's kind of put it back and see what happens. Okay, so there it is. I just need to snap the excess of the enameled wire, but as you can see in there, so we solder that one in there. The wire comes from here, from through there, from the other side, and it's soldered in there, and then the other wire goes and soldered in there. So now let's quickly do this actually before I stop recording. So let's gonna break the excessive wire. Go. Now that's gonna break the other one here. Come on. There we go. That's done. And now, the moment of the truth. Let's gonna turn the microscope off. Boom. Will we have 40 something ohms on this speaker now? Don't turn off yet. Ah, come on. Oh, look at that, guys. We fixed it. We fixed it. So, I'm going to put a little bit of melted glue just here, holding these wires as it was before. And let's give it a go. I've glued these on this side, by the way, with a little bit of super glue all the way around. Okay, so obviously I had to lift all of this. But let's give it a go. See what happens. Okay, guys, so I have good news and bad news. I'm sure you can guess what that is. So let me just take you through it. We're still today, yeah. I just can't stop. Carry on. Right. So I plugged in the speaker, and as soon as I plugged in the speaker, I plugged in the module back in, turned the ignition on, and I could hear straight away the buzzing noise. Sorry, turned the ignition on, pressed the button for the parking sensors, and as soon as I pressed that, I could hear straight away the noise coming from the back of the car, from that speaker. So that's a win. That's working. What I've done afterwards, guys, was very quickly I went back to the rear of the car again, and I have unplugged that plug again, and I've checked the powers, the voltage that should be going into the rear sensors through pin 5 and 6, I think it is. Yeah, 5 and 6. And I was getting 0 volts. Not 0 volts, I was getting like nothing. Okay, so I came back to the module, measured the wires again from there to the front of the module to here, from that plug underneath the rear bumper, and the wires were good. So I start to think, what the heck's going on? Why the speaker failed, and why there's no power going to the sensors at all. So what I've done next was, I thought, let me check the module while I'm here. So I've opened the module, and bam, behold, look what we found. Boom! Look at that. So let me just take you through quickly. So this here is where the power, where the voltage comes in this pin here, I think it is, into the module. Comes through this pin here. Okay, and then this here that goes that way is the power supply to the rear speaker. So whatever happens here, when it happened, it blew the rear speaker. I checked already. Actually, I can show you. Okay, so I know the light is not the best, etc, etc, but I will tell you what's going on. So this, on this plug here, is where the voltage supply to the front sensors are, and here's for the rear. Pin number 2, pin number 2 is the power supply to the sensors at the front, and look where that comes. Let me show you. So this is the burn area. There we go. And then to the rear sensors is pin 11, if I'm not mistaken, which is this one right here at the back. Where does it come? To here. Now, under the microscope, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to show you. I'll have to be. These components, they look to me, let me do it like this so you can see what's going on. So these components here, where it's burned, so that, it says X03, am I right to say? It says X03. I think this is a fuse. Okay, when I measure, they have between these two, let me actually put the thing here. Can you? No, you can't. Let me put it like this. I really need to get a better setup, but it is what it is. So let me put it like this so you can see the multimeter at the same time. So when I measure this one that's still in place, you're gonna see that all I get is, I was just about to get interrupted, so I stop. So when I measure this component here, as you're going to see in there, I have 1.3 ohms. Actually, let me take this noise. You don't need to be hearing the beep all the time. I'm getting, as you're going to see, 1.3 ohms. So I think this is a fuse. I might be wrong. And the other component is now, as you can see there, is now a little bit into pieces, but it seemed to me like the same but it seems to me like the same stuff. So these, I think, was supposed to be like this. This is the inside of it. I think, no, it's like that, isn't it? It's like that. I think it's the same component. It looked like the same. It looked like two of them. So it looks like, so all those power supplies, they come to here. Okay, and this is the one that feeds the speaker, okay? But here is what it is. So I think what I'm gonna do is clean all this and try to find a fuse. If I don't find a fuse, I'll find a fuse somewhere. I'm sure I will. Right, let's gonna clean this and see what we can do. Gonna put some better light. I really need to get the light. It looks like it's never enough. So I wanna see better what we are doing here. Okay, so that's the base for the component. Now I can see what that thing is, because this is all twisted, that's why. Okay, it's supposed to be like that. Okay, now I get it. This is all good. Okay, so that lane is completely gone, but we know where it comes, so we can sort that out, not a problem. So let me show you in a second. I'll show you under the microscope. Okay, let me it's not looking very good. Okay, so as you can see in there, let me show you here. So as you're going to see there, so there we go. So this is where the component was, from here to here. Then this is the via that goes to the power supply, front and rear of the sensors. And here obviously was the pad, that's gone. so we're gonna have to pull perhaps a wire through this wire, solder on the other side, and then put it on here. So I'm gonna see if is this coming off as well. Yeah, it's lifting the wire, the pad as well. So we're gonna take these off, and I'm gonna see if I can find something similar, a fuse like that, a component that's similar to this. And if I do find it somewhere, I hope we do, I'm sure we're gonna have. Otherwise, I think I'm gonna put a 0 ohms resistor and see and go from there. Okay, so after searching loads of boards, I don't have this particular fuse, so a little bit of research, and this is, guys, so that XX03 is a 350 milliamps fuse. The equivalent, there's on some other boards there's a green fuse like this, similar to this, just with a letter E is a 375 milliamps. I looked everywhere, maybe I do have, I couldn't find one. I found what I believe, look at that, I believe is a 500 milliamps, and I know it's a little bit more, but I don't have nothing close to this, to 350, so I'm gonna try that. It will always burn the fuse either way, because the wires are way thicker than this, so even if something happens, that will always burn first. But as you have seen, I put this wire through the wire, solder on the other side, and then solder on this side. Obviously the pad is gone on that side, and here I just cleaned, soldered again. It was still a little bit dirty, but it's not too bad. And I'm gonna try, and I will know very soon if this worked. But you guys are gonna have to wait for tomorrow, because it's way too dark now to record anything. Oh no, you don't. You're just gonna have to wait for the next clip. Right, good morning. Obviously for you guys it's just the next clip. So obviously I've tried yesterday this thing, so I know if it's working or not, but you guys don't. So let me show you. So the module is just plugged in there, as you can see. And that's, I'm not going to plug that in, but let's just do one thing here. So I'm going to actually probably start this thing, because it's probably better if I just start it up. There we go. And now let me close the door. Right, what do you guys think? It's gonna work or it's not gonna work? Right, so reverse. Oh, look at that. Look at that. So if I press that button now, I don't know. So set turn signal and select the reverse gear. Hey. Right, so what we're gonna do is we are going to put everything back together, and then we're gonna give it a go like we did at the start of the video, see if it works, and then wrap up this. Okay, so that's gonna start this thing. Right, everything is put back together, including the rear of the car where the speaker is, all that good stuff. There's only one last thing I'm gonna do, but I'm not gonna do that now on camera. I'll just do it afterwards, which is I'm gonna get under the car, and the sensor on the rear left hand side, the one that was pushed in slightly, I'm gonna see if I can go under on the underside and push it out. I don't know if I have access or not. If I can, I'll push it out. But yeah, that's the only thing I'm gonna try to do later. So let's gonna pretend. Oh, look at that, all working. Right, that's gonna go to here somewhere, maybe here. That should be right here. So now I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna press park, and we're gonna do this. Is it gonna find the space or not? Ah, he hasn't seen the space. Okay, so anyway, as you have seen, guys, there's no reason why it's not gonna work. I'd love to show you this working, which will be, oh damn it, I'm not really in place, am I? Let's try to see if I could simulate these here. I managed to do it in the past with other cars. Let me go a little bit more, see if I can do here. Okay, so okay, now I'll press the button for the park. Now we're gonna go like this. We should see this as a space here. Nah, it's not seeing that as a space. Okay, that's fine. Is it like this? I'm not sure. I don't know, guys. I think he's not seeing the space properly. Don't even know if I'm doing this right. Anyway, should work. There's no reasons why it wouldn't. There's really no reasons why it wouldn't work. Everything is working. Everything is the systems are good. The one last thing I'm going to do is just going to go through the module, clear the codes that probably still in there as passive codes, clear all the codes, and that's it. But guys, interesting that in the end was a bad module. I'm not sure what happened for that module to blow in there. I can only guess, and this is only a guess, that when the car had that, it's visible that the car had something on the rear left hand side on that corner. So maybe when that impact happened, it shorted the positive and negative feed to the sensors, and that made the module to blow inside, which is actually a bad design because it should actually blow the fuse on the outside. It should be designed like that, not to blow the internal of the module. But hey, it blew that fuse again. We replaced that and it's fully working, so no parts required, well, apart from a small fuse. But yeah, that's it for this video, guys. What else to say? Really hope you enjoyed the video. Hope really that you learned something and you found this interesting. And yes, if you do still have any questions, any comments, guys, you know exactly how it works. Just put them below. And like always, thank you for watching. And there he is. I couldn't deliver the car without making sure that this was working.